What is up? What is up, everybody? Me and Snark here on our road to Dial of Destiny. And the last one that we have to do, unfortunately, well, according to a lot of other people, unfortunately, is going to be the Crystal Skull. And that's what we're here to talk about is the Crystal Skull on the road to Dial of Destiny. Please hit that like and subscribe button, man, and to help us out. We're getting there. We're trying to make it to where we can do some cool things for the channel and stuff like that. So thank you. And always, like I've always said, thank you to all the Patreon supporters out there for your support, and everything else helps us be able to do what we do here on the channel. With that being said, man, let's get into the Crystal Skull. Now, I'm going to open it up with I watched this movie. I know a lot of people hate on it. Now, I never was one of the haters per se. I didn't think it was bad enough to hate the movie. I think that's a lot of things that go on now with the internet and so-called and so forth. If you don't like it, it's a hate. It's not like, oh, I mildly dislike this movie or I just dislike it. It just jumps to the hate word. And then people start throwing that out there, and then other people start joining them because they think it's cool, because it seems like most of the people in their circle hates a movie. I'm kind of glad I went back and rewatched this movie. There's a couple of things that I dislike about it. I'm not sitting here trying to say that it was oh man, way better than I thought. But I just saw Dial of Destiny. Snark's going to be watching it after we get through with this review and stuff. And they're not that far apart to me in rankings at all, period. I might even give them a tie after watching Dial of Destiny and everything else. I mean, like I said, I wasn't a hater on Crystal Skull like a lot of other people were. So that doesn't mean it's as bad as what some people think it is, right? When I'm saying that. But when I rewatch Crystal Skull, there are some things I didn't love about it, but I just kind of reaffirmed the fact that why I never said I hated the movie. I overall like the movie. I don't love it. I like it, right? So I would give this one a 6 or 6.5 on a 10-point scale. That's about where I have Dial of Destiny ranked right now. And I just deduct points for certain things, and we can get into that in the broad spectrum. But before we start breaking down other details and stuff, Snark, what did you actually think of when you rewatched the Crystal Skull?
First of all, I want to say, how dare you, sir? How dare you reach into my thoughts and grab exactly what I was going to say? Yeah, I did the same thing. I watched it again. I had this feeling in my head from watching it in the theater. It's I didn't like the movie. There was just everything about it when I first saw it. I was like, nah, this why would I? There's nothing to this. I don't like it. I rewatched it this week and actually kind of enjoyed myself. There's a lot of parts where I enjoy myself. But yeah, like you were saying, there are things that I do not like about this movie. There are things that I think are ridiculous, even on the scale of Indiana Jones. There's some ridiculous stuff to it that wasn't great. But I enjoyed the movie. I thought I would enjoy. I thought I wouldn't like, what's his name there from Transformers? Shia. I didn't think I'd like Shia all that much. Didn't mind Shia. John Hurt, I thought was annoying the first time I saw it. I thought he was fine this time. Yeah, everything just seemed to be fine. Except, and we'll probably talk about it. There are things that aren't great about the movie, but as a whole, I enjoyed watching it, and I would put it the same thing. It's like a 6.5, which isn't bad. It's not. It's technically not bad.
Yeah, if I hate a movie, I'm giving it a 1, 2, or 3. Yeah. And I just think that a lot of people, when they look at movies and stuff like that, and they start trying to say, oh, what, they just jump to hate. And some of these movies that people start acting like that, to me, just isn't bad enough for it to be on the hate scale, right? So I would never say I hate a film unless I gave it a 1 or 2. And it'd be hard for me for somebody to legitimately have reasons to give that movie a 1 or a 2 only, right? Maybe they give it a 5, which is right in the middle. So they don't really dislike it or like it. They're right there in the middle. That's where I do my scale from 1 to 10. A 5's right in the middle. I'm not liking it. I don't dislike it. I just didn't have a lot of feelings towards it either way. It was okay. If I go and see a movie and it's at least a 5 or above, I'm sort of happy because I don't think it wasted my money or my time if it's at least at the 5 level. Now, anything below that, then I start getting irritated with it and everything else because of the simple fact that it's like, hey, we got the I went and paid money and spent time on a movie that I totally disliked or whatever, right? Like I'm only grading it like 1, 2, or a 3. I didn't think Crystal Skull was that bad when I first saw it. Like I said, I never hated on the movie. Now I never praised it either because there are problems. Like I definitely have problems with where they went as far as like the alien stuff.
Oh,
I think that was
they're
too.
not aliens. They're interdimensional beings.
Listen, man.
Whatever.
When it comes to that, like you could have done something like that and made it good. I just think they failed in their. Like I think everything leading up to where we actually get to see what's going on and stuff like that was pretty good, like decent, like not that much different than a normal Indiana Jones movie, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I just don't think they stuck the landing, which like a lot of times people will say like I dislike a movie because I didn't like the ending or the ending was confusing or something like that.
It was
the
awful.
ending of this movie was not great. It just wasn't because I think they took a chance by throwing the aliens in here. And then, like I said, they could have done something cool with the aliens better than what they did. And it would have been a better movie overall. But I just think that the aliens kind of killed it at the 3rd act just because of the fact that I don't think they did it very well. Now, I think it becomes in the route, The Last Crusade. That's one of the weakest things I think about The Last Crusade, for instance. That's why The Last Crusade's like 3rd on my list as far as like Indiana Jones movies and whatnot, is because they also, to me, kind of failed at the end. You had a pretty good build up to here to get the Holy Grail, and then we got a weird guy that's standing there for some reason. That's a knight that's been alive for 700 years. We didn't need to have him really there. You know, it kind of got a little weird at moments, and it wasn't all that great of an ending. But like in this movie, I just think they took too big of a chance throwing aliens in there. And that's where they kind of lost their way because I just don't think they had a very good ending with the aliens involved.
Yeah. And rewatching it and seeing like the special effect of, the alien coming together, like it's doing the world around and they crash into each other and it gets a little more fleshed out or whatever. And at the end, and I think that part looks cool until the alien, gets up and starts moving around and it's like, ooh, this thing was made in 2008, but that even then that graphic did not age well. But the alien thing wasn't the most unbelievable part of the movie. That happens in the very beginning when poor Indiana Jones wanders into Nuketown. And here comes the nuke. It's gonna blow up Nuketown. Oh, this lead-lined refrigerator is gonna save Indy, no problem. All right, whatever. It's probably not a huge bomb. It's probably like a 1 megaton bomb for the 1950s. Yep. So he closes the thing up. Lead line. All right, would, in theory, block out radiation. It would not block out being launched into the air and sent 2 goddamn miles down into the desert. He would 100% be crushed, or at least have every single bone in his body broken. No, gets out, walks out, and goes face to face with a groundhog who also seems to be fine. And there was what was the deal with the groundhogs in the beginning?
But you also got to look at radiation like that, especially right after one of those bombs goes off. Like you're not getting out of it. Like he would have to stay into that refrigerator until someone came and picked him up and then like dragged him to safety at a safe spot. Now, like you said, 1 megaton bomb's different from like a bigger bomb. So maybe the radius that gets affected isn't as big as like something that we would think about today, or even some of the stuff they dropped in Japan during World War II or whatever, because I think those were like 100 megaton bombs possibly or something like that. But like with that being said, you're not going to get out, man. You got radiation poisoning. You could get real quick, man. It doesn't take a long time for radiation to get absorbed into your body. You're not going to get out of that thing and walk around. I agree with that. So that's another fault or whatever. But you can say, hey, they just wanted to do a cool explosion.
Yeah, it's a thing where you just have to, suppress the reality of it.
Yeah, forget about the rules of
and
radiation.
just enjoy it. But at least this time I knew it was coming, so I could have a little more fun with it this time than the first time I ever watched it in the theater.
But I'm gonna say
I
this
was
though,
mad.
we did
This
watch
time
a
now I don't care.
movie where he jumps out of a plane with
This is
nothing
what I
but
was
a
gonna.
float.
This is what
With
I was
nothing-
gonna compare it to, was the
Yeah.
Temple of Doom going out of a plane on a raft. Somehow
On a
the three of
raft.
them, keeping it
That
together.
doesn't flip over or anything. It keeps together and lands, and then still doesn't pop or anything. It like still goes down a mountainside into a lake or into a river with rapids. So like you have that, but like it is what it is. So some of the things you do have to ignore for fun.
Yeah, you
Right.
suspend belief.
That I can see could be a fun thing you're doing that you don't really care as much about it. You're just putting it in there because it looks cool or whatever, kind of like the raft thing that we just talked about.
Yeah.
The alien thing at the end was the thing that they just didn't do a good job with it. It's not that aliens were involved. That wasn't my problem. Like, hey, that's a natural progression, right? You're moving through the movies. Each one kind of outdoes the other one on what kind of artifact you're trying to get or whatever. And like aliens could be like a simple thing, right? It would make sense that like, you know, a lot of people believe, say, aliens built the pyramids and everything. So it makes sense to be involved in this world, even an archaeologist or whatever. But like
every single movie has something to do with some kind of magic, though, right? There's the Ark of the Covenant. There's the guy who pulls out beating hearts.
Pull out the hearts.
700-year-old man. Now you got the phase shifting alien dimensional dudes or whatever. That entire building was a huge flying saucer.
Yeah, my only problem was they just didn't do it well in this movie. But also, like, I didn't care for the name of the kid, Mutt. I didn't care for that name.
You understand, though, right? You understand why he's Mutt.
Yeah.
Indiana is named after the dog, so his kid is named for a dog. So
I got you. And then like
should have called him Fido.
I mean, I get it.
Fido
like,
would have been
come on, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But then like I also like there were points in times where Indiana Jones didn't feel like Indiana Jones in the movie either. Like, because Indiana Jones would always like maybe get set up on a trap or something like that, but it wasn't for him being like almost dumb or goofy. Like there were parts in this movie where he would do something where he would just fall over something or whatever, almost like he was clumsy. And they were almost kind of doing it for like almost like a funny effect or whatever. So I thought that affected the character a little bit. Like he never really did that. Yeah, he would get himself into bad places or traps, but it was always usually someone else's fault that caused the trap to spring up. It wasn't because he made the mistake or any of that. But there was a couple of times in this movie where he actually falls through or initiates a trap or like, you know, just whatever that happens in this movie, which I didn't like. So I would take some points off for that as well. But I even get, because there's different time periods, like I get the jokes because whether like 50s or 60s in this movie. you got Shia LaBeouf the Mutt over here like wanting to comb his hair because he's a greaser. You know, like I think they did that one too many times in this film as well, where they tried to do like him like trying to just comb his hair after something happens. It's like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
you're in a dark, creepy ass tunnel with all kinds of crazy shit happening. You're not going to be worried about combing your hair, okay? Like I get it, like the first couple of times he did it, but I think he did it like one too many times.
Yeah, and I didn't think Marion packed as much of a punch, this time as last time either. I thought it was fun to have her. Maybe Marion could have been in a little less or something. Yeah, it's hard. I think she was kind of shoehorned into the movie. The part with all the ants or termites or whatever it is,
I actually like that.
But
I thought that was
the
cool.
guy just screaming and keeping his mouth open so all the ants could go in his mouth instead of just closing his mouth. I thought was odd.
Nah,
I thought it was fun seeing him go in the thing.
You're getting eat alive, bro. You're gonna be screaming. You ain't gonna be able to hold that mouth shut. And then when they cover your face, you got to breathe eventually. So like, I didn't have a big problem with that. I thought that shit like that has some like fun comedy moments, but also like kind of like hardcore. Like, oh god, these ants are for real, bro. Like, I don't even know if those ants exist in real life somewhere, but if they did, bro, I'd be scared my ass off, bro.
They really went after the 3D thing too, with Cate Blanchett's character squishing it every time. You'd have the bug juice flying at the camera all the time too. What did you think of Cate Blanchett as the Russian psychic colonel or whatever?
I was fine with it, but I
Mhm.
thought that she should have been able to use those sidekick things. Like she tried to do it like one time and it didn't really
Yeah.
work, but it would have been cool if they actually showed her using it and it worked one time so that you could be kind of afraid of it. But I think she tried to do it on Indy at one point and it didn't work. And then I don't think I don't remember her ever like doing it anytime during the movie that it worked. And the thing that they were trying to get was about for knowledge and everything else. It was like, but overall, as a bad guy, I didn't think she was bad.
No.
Like, I'm not gonna hate on her character that much at all. Period. Like, she seemed like a normal Indiana Jones kind of bad person or whatever. Thought it was cool to see a bad guy that was a female character. I was fine with that. That's cool to
Mhm.
see sometimes just to switch it up a little bit. So
And
like, yeah, I didn't hate on
it's
that.
still Kate Blanchett, and Kate Blanchett playing in the Indiana Jones little sandbox or whatever. She can play it up a little bit, and Russians are evil. Everybody knows this. Everybody in the whole world knows how evil Russians are. So yeah, so play it up. Have fun with it. It's the 1950s. It's the height of the Red Scare. I thought she did good. I really like the beginning part with the um, in the museum and stuff like that. The fighting that's going around there, of course, it's typical Indiana Jones kind of plot armor going on, but that's fine. I think as a he was 61 years old or whatever when that movie was made, 62 years old. I thought he carried himself pretty well still as Indiana Jones. Still did most of his own stunts, I think. So yeah, like we will shit on this movie and we will say that there's bad parts, but I think both of us genuinely both like the movie. Like, and I would
Yeah,
say I especially like it more now that I've seen it again than when I first saw it. I think it's worth, if you didn't like it before, go into it just with a sense of humor. Like I guess like it was bound to disappoint. Like if it didn't match, like even what people's Last Crusades expectations were, just because you had 19 years to think about it. I think the same thing with the Phantom Menace had the same problem. You had to wait so long in between movies that everybody's expectations were just sky high. They're
yep.
like you were never going to reach them. But yeah, again, some of the things were a little okay, whatever. But the as a whole, it's fun. It
Yeah,
works.
it's not a terrible, crappy. It's not a movie that anybody should hate,
No, it's not like a
right?
Transformers movie.
It's not going to also be your favorite movie of all time. It's not going to be your favorite Indiana Jones movie. It's not going to be the movie that you go back and maybe watch 20 times or whatever, but it's also not as bad as what people made it out to be. I'm going to be honest with you 100%. Like, it's
Yep.
just not that bad. Like, and I didn't think it was, like I said before, I didn't think it was that bad when it came out. Like, I didn't hate on it as much. Like, I just thought it was like, okay, it's an okay movie, right? But it's fine sometimes to go see a movie and it just be okay. Not every movie is going to win an Academy Award. Not every movie is going to be the best movie you've ever seen. And I think that's one of the biggest letdowns to me when it comes to like internet and people talking about films and stuff like that. Like when I talk to my everyday friends, right? Like the people that I know in person that I see in life, or even people that I work with or whatever. When I see these people, they'll be like, that are not in a space of talking about films and stuff like that. They'll just be like, oh yeah, I liked it. Or maybe I love it. And then maybe every now and then, maybe you get like an Infinity War or something like that. And somebody's like, oh man, it's like the greatest comic book movie I've ever seen. Maybe you'll get that line every now and then, but
Yeah.
it's not every other movie. And on top of that, like I said, they'll be like, I just liked it. Or if they went and seen a movie they didn't like that much, be like, oh man, it was okay, but I didn't really care for it that much. Like that's the kind of like rhetoric and stuff that you hear about the movie, like when you're talking to people that's not in a space where they're always trying to be critical of movies. But then you get in, say, Twitter or any of this stuff, and you get these people that come out here that write 3 paragraphs about a movie, why they hated it. And it's like, bro, it's not that bad. Like
Yeah.
you're looking into this way too much. It's an Indiana Jones movie. You're supposed to go into it wanting to have just a fun adventure. It's not going to be groundbreaking, earth-shattering, like teach you all kinds of things and lessons to life. It's not going to be that kind of stuff. It's going to be a movie that you enjoy with your family, hopefully. And maybe later on during the time you throw it in the DVD player, or this day you throw it on your streaming service and you have it on in the background while you're cleaning the house or something like that, right? Or maybe you're doing another project on your computer and you got it over here on the screen aside, just letting it play, and then you catch your eyes popping over there on some cool scenes. Like I said, there were some cool scenes, there was some cool stuff in this movie. Yeah, there's a couple of bad things, and it does bring the score a lot lower than what it normally would be, because I think the most important part of a movie is the ending. So, like I said, I was cool with the lead up for the aliens all the way up to the point to where we get to see them, and then, you know, they do what they do, which ain't really that big of a thing. So it's like, it's kind of a letdown when you finally do get to see the
burn her eyeballs out.
Yeah, but it's like when that kind of stuff right there takes place, it's like, yeah, that wasn't great. So that brings this movie further down than what it should be, right? So it's like, all right, cool. And I overall, though, didn't dislike the movie. I wouldn't even say I loved it. I just say I like it. And it's fine to say those words, man.
I think it's fine to say it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's fine. Or even okay. Use the word okay.
Okay.
You don't have to hate. You don't have to hate or dislike or think the movie is the greatest thing of all time. But also realize that some people don't see movies like you do. Some people turn their brain off. They watch Indiana Jones movie, and some of the goofy stuff that we might not have liked, they fall in love with and thinks like the coolest thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's another thing to look at. It's like people have their own opinions and stuff. I try to never like bash something. Now, if somebody asks my opinion on a film or whatever, I give them my opinion, and I try to be as honest as possible. But if I know they love a movie, I'm not going to sit there and call them stupid or dumb.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that happens. And it's like, bro, that's so much in we already have that in sports and politics and stuff, and like religion, where people just call people names, yell at each other and stuff like that. We already have that and all that. We should not have that kind of stuff happening for movies that are just supposed to be entertainment. It's entertainment. Like, I see if you're an actor or an actress or a director or a producer of a movie and people are being hypercritical and you feel the need to defend it because you actually worked on it. Maybe it's like a project you really liked and had fun doing, so you're trying to defend it. I get it. Maybe those people lose a little bit of control, but all you people on Twitter, listen, all you people on Twitter, YouTube, all these other little things, bro, half the time y'all don't know what the hell y'all talking about. And then the other part of the time, it's like, what the hell are you going in so hard for this? Are they paying you money on the side? They're not paying you money to defend or hate the movie, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that's not happening. Now, if it is happening out there, I'd like to know and get my hand in that bucket of money. I'll just start yelling obscenities and calling movies shit and everything else if that gets me some money. But I don't think any of you guys get any money to do that, so it doesn't matter. Like, I see a lot of people for the Dial of Destiny. Okay, so I did go see the Dial of Destiny, right? And I'll tell you this. I seen some people on these channels that were like dogging Dial of Destiny, calling it crap, calling it whatever, right? Saying it's the worst thing in the world, saying it's garbage. I went and seen the movie. It's no, maybe it's a little bit better than than Crystal Skull. Maybe not. Some people may not like it. I can understand why some people doesn't like what they do with the Indiana Jones character overall. I can get that. I understand it. But it's not the most terrible garbage movie out there. Like, the only reason why you're doing that, and some of these people were saying it before they even seen the movie, they just heard some rumors about one thing or the other, right? And they take that 100%. They're going into the movie already hating it. So guess what's going to happen when you go see a movie and you're already saying you're hating it? You're going to hate it. Or you're going to find things in it that you're going to hate. I didn't do that. Even when I heard that rhetoric, I went into the movie open-minded, watched the movie, didn't regret watching it, didn't get pissed off and ask for a refund at the ticket counter. I stayed there. I did the thing, and I liked it. I liked the movie. I would say I had more. I didn't have a big, huge grin on my face like a jackass eating briars or anything, but I had a little bit of a smile coming out. Like, hey, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. That wasn't as bad as I heard, like, on the internet. I just think these people need to sit back, take a chill pill, get their panties out of their ass crack, and start recognizing the simple fact that, like, hey, man, not everything's the worst, not everything's the best. There's a lot of things in the middle, and this is entertainment. Stop taking it so personal. Stop trying to throw attacks at people and do all that. Like, it's not worth all that. What are you throwing that in your life? There's a lot of things in this life that we have those things to worry about, that we have those things to fight for. There's a lot of things out there in this world to do that. But to say like you hate something and it's just entertainment, and it falls in line even with, like, I see a lot of people talking about, man, I hate America. No, man, bro, bro, stop it. Like, the greatest part about this country is we can say what we want. We can do what we want. It gives us the freedom to be able to do that. And guess what? Maybe things aren't going your way right now, but the great part about this country is those things can change and go your way at some point. It may not align with you 100%, but there's a lot more people in this United States of America than just you. This country is not set up to do everything that you like. The government's not set up to do everything that you like either. Like, that's just the thing, right? Like, I have to open my mind to see that. There's a lot of things that I may not disagree with that our government does, but that doesn't make our country crap. Because guess what? I have the freedom in this country that if I don't like something happening in this country, I can do whatever I want to change it. I can get out there, I can hit the pavements in the streets and start talking to people and start trying to sway people and help people with getting elected or something like that. And if I hate it that much, I can just get up and buy me a ticket out of here. Nobody's going to stop me, right? Like, that's just how it is, man. I just hate these people that like just go, like, I just threw the word hate out there because I've been saying it so much, but I don't even hate the people. I just dislike it when I see people that like I said, they'll even do it. Like, that's on politics side. So I can almost even kind of understand it sometimes, but it's like entertainment, man. Let's stop it. Like, don't do it anymore. Like, what are you doing? You're not winning a prize because you make somebody feel bad for liking or hating a movie. Like, if they like it, let them like it. If they hate it, let them hate it.
Who's impressed by that anyways? Who's impressed by how much
I never get on Twitter and go, hey, yeah, let me follow this person because they hate a movie so bad, or they like a movie so bad, or whatever. Like, it's like getting ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and it just irritates me because it's like, bro, we already take everything so seriously. Can we just at least leave our entertainment alone?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's nonsense. It's utter nonsense. How angry these people get about something. Like, if you don't like it, it's great. Who cares? Why do you have to voice your opinion how much you hate something? It's always bothered me, and I'll never understand it, but whatever. The two of us aren't going to change. An American and some dumbass from Canada.
Well, you know what, man? Maybe we can band together and get everything straightened out, man. As
just
two
like Strike
men,
Force. Like
as
Strike
two
Force.
two men to dominate the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's
shit.
just do it.
All right. I'm in.
Let's do it, man. Like I said earlier, please hit that like and subscribe button. Help out the channel there. Thank you to the Patreons and everybody that's up there. And just like Harrison Ford, if you take anything away, liking or dislike this movie or whatever, you can say it how you want to. You can like it, do whatever. Just don't jump on other fans that like it or hate it if they're opposite than you. That's the only thing I ask. But the one thing you can get from this movie, like it or not, is the fact that I want you, each and every one of you, to be like Harrison Ford. And that's the same thing that I leave you with every time that I'm on one of these shows. And that's to stay effing sexy. You know what I'm saying? Because Harrison Ford's did it. You could do it too. And with that, guys, till next time, peace.